Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. Today we're going to discuss the State of the Union address and what the murderous, baby-killing socialist Democrats want to do with our country. So the State of the Union address, I'm sure a lot of you watched it. Approximately 75-ish% of people who watched it last night approved of it, regardless of their political affiliation. But what really stood out to me in the midst of everything was the screeching, squelching, baboon-like behavior of these classless women in the Democrat Party. So they show up, of course, wearing their white to show solidarity. Apparently, this is what they say, to show solidarity with the suffragette movement, women getting the right to vote. But what I found more interesting than what they wore was what they said about what they're wearing. You never ask a woman about, oh, yeah, your wardrobe looks good. Ask her why she wore what she wore. Then you'll really get to the heart of the issue. So when you look at what I believe is Representative Frankel, I forget if she's a representative or a senator, but what she said, and she was one of the original pushes behind getting these women to wear white, was that these women had fought so hard for their rights and they weren't going to back down on these hard-fought rights that they were white. Nobody's trying to take your right to vote. So what rights are you speaking of, Ms. Frankel? What rights are you speaking of? Oh, that's right. You want the right to murder children now. So let me get this straight. You only care about the rights of women so long as you can hear their screams. When they're being dismembered or having saline injected into their little skin, you don't care so much about that. You only care as long as they can vote for you 3 or 4 times. And I think that President Trump actually did very, very well in exploiting their hypocrisy on this. Because on one hand, you have the celebration, the baboon, impish-like behavior of these women who are doing the whole raise the roof thing. I'm like, are you at Chuck E. Cheese? Or are you in Congress right now? But you're expecting women who are classless and who are base and who ultimately act like demonic entities to have some sort of veneer of humanity and class. Yeah, we shouldn't even bother with that. But I think that it was effectively highlighted, their own hypocrisy, when you juxtapose their relative glee about, oh, yay, women are in Congress, women are in Congress, women are in Congress, with, oh, that's right, you called us on our infanticide bill. You called us on our behavior in New York and in Virginia. Yeah, it was pretty clear. And I think President Trump actually very well exploited their own hypocrisy in this. So let's get an update here as to what these women are. You probably saw my little picture there at the front with Nancy Pelosi juxtaposed with Kerry. The first thing that I thought when I saw these women dressed in white was, you freaking hypocrites. Like, you should be wearing red with the blood of the infants that you're advocating slaughtering in the name of women's rights. It's lunacy. But more than lunacy, I mean, lunacy would kind of connotate that the person was just crazy, but they didn't have any knowledge or forethought or malice intent. Oh, no. These women know full and well what they're advocating, and they are so twisted and warped and sick that they would rather a woman be able to murder an infant than to recognize the right of that infant girl, by the way. They would much rather have murder be cloaked as a right than recognize human decency and human morality. But that's the problem, see. They don't want to recognize objective morality. They don't want to have to be held to a standard of accountability and ultimately be able to answer for their crimes and for what they do and what they advocate. They would rather have you believe in the postmodern world where there is no right, there is no wrong. It's I'm good, you're good, we're all good. So cool, it's cool, man, you do whatever you want to do. No. You know, ultimately, they're very, very Marxist in their ideology, and I'm very glad that President Trump actually, called it out and said we're not going to be a socialist country anymore in the midst of, Bernie sitting there scowling. Like, Bernie, please go and eat some more, horrible Vermont Ben & Jerry's ice cream and have the coronary that you're scheduled for, man. I just wish you would go away. But when it comes right down to it, folks, these people who are advocating the murder of children, and I'll be direct in this, who are advocating the genocide of people of color. See, here's the thing. When you confront them on the statistics of abortion, and I have a background in women's health, okay, so I know all of this crap, okay? When you confront them with the statistics of abortion, a black baby, depending on how you're viewing it, is anywhere between 2 to 3 times more likely to be aborted in these at-risk areas, these at-risk populations, than he is to be born. People of color are more likely to be aborted than white people. I mean, the facts are what they are. So when it comes right down to it, they're trying to cloak their well-meaningness in women's rights, but really what they're advocating is the genocide of the constituency that in many cases elected them in the first place. It's utter hypocrisy. And it's no wonder that people of color, the black and minority group, they are moving more and more towards conservative mindset because they see the hypocrisy of these groups. They see that these people just want to use them. They see that they want to keep them, I'm going to be direct, they want to keep them on the plantation. They want to dole out the scraps and have them keep doing their work for them, keep voting, keep putting them in office. No, no, no. They're not about empowering minorities. They're about perpetuating slavery. So when we evaluate, friends, when we evaluate where we are this week right now, the Democrats figured out that they made a big boo-boo with this governor in Virginia. And so now they're trying to muddy the waters with the whole blackface Ku Klux Klan thing and the abortion statements. What they're trying to do is say we need to remove him because of the racism issue. It's a straw man. What they're trying to do is to put up something else to get you to attack, like, look at the birdie, attack this, even though what he said was absolutely heinous. And the thing that concerns me really is this guy apparently is a pediatric neurologist. He's an animal. He's an animal. He's a piece of subhuman filth. When you're advocating for the murder of infants, who, by the way, you took an oath to protect, like you got 2 patients in that room and you took an oath to protect them, and you're going to sit there and advocate for the slaughter of them. Last time I checked, man, like you're violating your oath. Okay. So people are starting to see these Democrats for who they are and these leftists. Okay. People are starting to see at this point that the people in Congress who are trying to control our country are a bunch of sadistic, infant-murdering, socialist gun grabbers. And they are to be resisted in all ways possible. And so I have a couple of books that I've linked in the description box below for you guys. Because people keep asking me, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? The State of the Union is a temporary feel-good. Okay? Just a temporary buzz. If you've ever been at a real bad family reunion or a real bad holiday meal where you got to sit down at the same table and look across at people who basically want to take your rights, who want to murder children, who want to destroy the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, you'll keep your mouth shut for just a few minutes, maybe, just to keep the peace. When dinner's over and people start getting into, the talks and everything, it all comes off. So the State of the Union is just a temporary buzz. Give it a couple weeks, it's all going to come back down, and they're going to continue their tactics. I want to remind you of something. These people who are pushing for bills to slaughter children and pushing for bills to register firearms, confiscate firearms, all that stuff, these are the people with whom you are being told to have a dialogue. I'm done talking. In a debate for my right arm, I'm not even going to talk about giving you my pinky. It's not going to happen, okay? Like, I'm not talking with you anymore. You've already showed me that you're not worthy of a decent conversation, because in order for me to be able to come and have some sort of meaningful dialogue, we have to agree on fundamentals. And if you don't agree that an infant that's a few minutes old has a right to life, then I don't have any reason to talk to you. If you can't agree with that, there's no way in hell I'm going to agree to talk with you about anything. Like, all we've done with these people who want to murder babies and steal guns is talk. That's all they want to do. Talk, 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 talk. But while we talk, they act. And in the case of an Antifa member in Eugene, Oregon, and I'll put a link in the description box below to this, this Antifa member who was supposed to be some sort of firearms instructor, dude, I use that term loosely, he basically decided to go into a school in Eugene, Oregon and shoot up the police, and when he got rightfully killed in the exchange, as the aggressor, by the way, his Antifa group decided that they were going to plant incendiary devices, read bombs, at the Eugene, Oregon police station. So a State of the Union address is not going to fix this. Okay, people are entrenched, they are ensconced, they are digging in for the long haul, and they expect people like you and me to continue talking while they continue doing their actions. So what I advocate at this point, folks, is to prepare. Get those books that I recommended in the description box below. With all peaceable means necessary, we need to be able to resist these people, but they are probably going to push, as have their predecessors in all socialist movements in history, they are going to push too far. They are going to overstep, and when they do, we're going to be ready. This isn't a threat. All I'm advocating for, folks, is for preparedness and for the lawful preparation to resist individuals, tyrannical governments, and agents and emissaries of government that would come to strip your rights away. Our founders did it. If it was good enough for them, it's good enough for us. And when you've got people who are so blatant as to sit in the halls of Congress wearing white when they should be wearing blood red for the blood of infants that they are happy to spill, sitting there scowling when being told that, no, you don't get to make this place into a socialist utopia. We are guaranteed a republic form of government under our Constitution. When they're scowling about that and they're open about their desires to destroy the country, to dismantle the Bill of Rights, and to slaughter infants, these people are not people worth talking with. You know that they're coming. You know that they're coming at you. It's just a matter of, are you going to have the intellectual honesty to prepare for it? Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to me, Patriot Nurse. You can also support me on Patreon, Subscribestar, and cryptocurrency. I got links in the description box below. I hope it was helpful for y'all. Please share the video and get the word out. Get the word out. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later.